They say the sweetest food in Umuife was cooked by a woman whose pot could never run empty. In the lively village of Umuife, there lived a woman named Mamanjoko, known far and wide for her delicious food. From sunrise till sunset, the smell of her smoky jollof rice and spicy pepper soup filled the air. Her small stall under the big Iroko tree was always crowded. Farmers, hunters, and travelers all lined up with bowls in hand. Her food never failed. It had a taste that made people sigh with happiness. Even the village chief once said, "Mama Njoko, your food could wake the dead." But what no one knew was that Mama Njoko's cooking secret lay in a small clay pot, a gift from her late grandmother. It was said to be blessed by the river spirits. Whenever Mama Njoko cooked with it, her food shimmered, the flavors deepened, and her customers always came back for more. Yet, as her fame grew, so did her greed. She looked at the coins she earned each day and muttered, "If one pot makes me this rich, imagine what 10 pots would do." One quiet night, Mama Njoko went to the river to wash her clay pot. The moonlight danced on the water and frogs croaked softly. As she bent down, a voice rose from the rippling river. "Mama Njoko, if you want riches beyond your dreams, feed me first." Startled, she looked around. No one was there. Again the voice whispered, softer but clearer, "Pour your best soup into the river, and I will bless your pot with endless food." Mama Njoko's heart pounded. "Endless food?" she whispered. She hesitated. Then, driven by greed, she poured her hot pepper soup into the river. The water hissed and bubbled. Then suddenly, her clay pot began to glow faintly, gold like the sunrise. When she returned home and lifted the lid, the pot was full of steaming fresh rice, though she hadn't cooked a thing. She gasped in delight. "Hey, whoa, the spirit has blessed me." From that day, her pot never went empty. Whenever she served food, it refilled itself. Customers doubled. Coins poured in. She bought new wrappers, jewelry, and even a goat she named Chief Pepper Soup. But soon, she wanted even more. Weeks passed and Mama Njoko became the richest woman in Umuife. Her laughter grew louder, her waist beads jingled brighter, and her pride filled the air thicker than the smell of her soup. The villagers began to whisper, "Mama Njoko is no longer humble. She walks like she owns the sky." Even the chief noticed. He sent messengers to ask how she fed so many people alone. Mama Njoko smiled slyly and said, "It's my hard work and secret spice. No one can cook like me." But the clay pot began to change. Each night, it whispered louder, demanding more offerings. "Feed me more, or I will feed on you." She tried to ignore it, but strange things began to happen. Her soup boiled by itself, and her pot rattled even when empty. Still, her greed blinded her. One night, she shouted, "You are my servant. You will cook when I say, not when you please." The pot fell silent. Then it began to laugh. The next morning, Mama Njoko woke to the smell of food. Mountains of rice, soup, meat, filling her small hut. She clapped her hands in joy, not realizing that the pot was cooking on its own. She opened her door to sell the food, but as she stepped outside, the pot spilled over, soup and rice pouring like a river. It flowed down the street into other houses, flooding the entire village. "Water! Water! The food is chasing us!" people screamed. Mama Njoko tried to stop it. She shouted at the pot, threw sand into it, even beat it with a wooden spoon, but the pot only laughed louder. "You fed me greed, and now I feed the world." The flood of food washed away her stall, her coins, her goat, everything. The villagers fled to the hills, watching the streamed sight of a river of rice and soup swallowing Mama Njoko's home. When the flood finally stopped, Mama Njoko sat among the ruins of her hut, covered in cold rice and tears. Her magic pot lay cracked and empty beside her, silent forever. The villagers slowly returned, hungry but angry. The chief said, "Greed cooked your downfall, Mama Njoko. You forgot that food is for sharing, not hoarding." Ashamed, she bowed her head. From that day, she promised to cook again, but this time with her own hands, not magic. She gave free meals to the poor, and though her riches never returned, her peace did. Sometimes, when children passed by her stall, they would whisper, "That's the woman whose pot tried to feed the world." And Mama Njoko would smile softly and say, "Greed will always eat the hand that feeds it."